very much for watching this video on the changes to the highway code. Some of you may have seen my last two videos, the first one showing the proposed changes and the second one showing the actual written changes to the highway code. But in this video, I've compiled some video clips of what I've seen as either a driver or an instructor over the course of the last week. And the aim of this is to show what you should and shouldn't do for most of the rules. I haven't been able to do all of those, but also where the rules can be misinterpreted by drivers, riders, pedestrians, but also where difficulties can lie with clients, say for instance with an SEN, so a special educational need, and you will see one of those situations later on. I have also included a little bonus clip for you to see what a day in the life of a driving instructor sometimes involves and the craziness that we get to see. That's towards the end, and I hope that's an interesting clip for you to watch too. Now, if you find this information useful, please like, but if you have any questions, please put a comment in the comment section below and I'll help as soon as possible. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It would mean a lot. Thank you.
So I'm going to start you off with an easy one here. We're coming up to the end of this road and we can see there's pedestrians approaching from the left. She's waiting, so we might as well wait. And as you can see, this chap is extremely happy with the idea that we have given way to him.
This video clip will show where H2 will make the roads a lot safer. My client needs to take the second road on the left, and you will see that the car in front comes to a stop before entering the road, although the car in front didn't, and they really should, especially in this situation. The reason being is you can see that the lady crossing from the left hand side has a white cane with red bands. Those red bands show that they're not just blind, but blind and deaf. And can you imagine how scary it must be to cross a road when you can't see or hear what's going on? So in situations like that, H2 will really improve the road safety, especially for that lady there.
It's important to remember that H2 states that you should give way if somebody is waiting, and this pedestrian is approaching, so my client shouldn't have given way there. They politely bow and wave us on before we proceed, but we should have carried on. And again, we can see where H2 can be confusing. My client's turning right and we can see there's some pedestrians waiting to cross, and according to the DVSA, we should give way to them. But is that the safest thing to do there? Are the people behind expecting it? Probably not. My client pulls away when the traffic light goes to green, but as you can see, the pedestrian decides to walk in front of our car. My client reacts correctly and slows down before proceeding. But does this pedestrian take advantage of the new rule change to H2? Possibly, it's hard to say, but this is where I think we need some clarity from the Department for Transport, because what is the point of having a controlled pedestrian crossing if the red and green person is no longer applicable? My client is going to be turning right at the mini roundabout ahead. There is a pedestrian with his dogs about to cross the road from the centre island. We haven't got anyone behind us, so in this situation we have come to a stop to allow them to cross. But it is very important that you take into consideration what is going on behind you, and only stop if it is safe to do so. Remember, it's a should, not a must.
This clip shows the issues with giving way to pedestrians at the mouth of a roundabout. My client is turning left here, first exit, and it's an obtuse angle junction, so we're turning at about 110 degrees. My client's obviously looking right, and then when she proceeds, this happens.
Oh! Don't kill people, don't kill people.
Now, I completely agree that you should always look right and left before making a move, but I can see this happening a lot because a lot of drivers that I assess do not look left when they're coming out onto a roundabout. So are we really willing to take these risks?
Those of you that watched my part 2 video may remember this video clip. Remember, rule number 151 states that you should give way to any pedestrians that are waiting to cross if you are in slow moving traffic. So here we've just held back, allowed them to be able to cross without having to deviate around our vehicle before we then proceed. This video, in my opinion, epitomises the anomaly of H H3. Now the client that is driving in this video clip has a learning difficulty. Why am I stating that? You'll see why shortly, but he is aware of the rule changes with H1, H2 and H3. Now as you can see from behind, we are being caught up by an electric bicycle and they have not turned the pedals once. I've asked my client at this point, is there someone behind you? And he states, yes, a moped. I said, it's not a moped, it's a bicycle. Now, this is where it becomes a problem. My client is asked here to turn left.
Next road on the left.
He checks his mirrors, he does his indicator. Just as the e-bike decides to go up on the left-hand side. My client sees this and slows down to allow them to pass. They almost go into the back of us. He doesn't pass. My client gets confused and then makes the turn. Can you see why this is going to be confusing, especially for clients with learning difficulties? If somebody is approaching from behind at that speed and they do not turn the pedals, it is not a bicycle. It's a moped or a motorbike in their mind. And again, this is where I think H3 is going to lead to a lot of confusion, especially with the new upsurge of electric bicycles. I apologise in advance for the quality of this video, but this is from my archive where I was teaching a client 7 years ago. We were waiting to come out of a road and then this happened. Thankfully, the cyclist was okay, but this could have been a lot worse. And this is the reason why driving instructors teach the MSM routine, mirrors, signal, manoeuvre, and why H3 has come into play. Now, what I assume happened was the car driver probably saw the traffic further down the road and wanted to avoid it. They indicated literally 2 meters before making that turn. They obviously didn't check the mirrors and didn't know the cyclist was there, and because the indicator went on so late, the cyclist didn't have any time to react, therefore going into the side of the car. The car driver was 100% to blame. The bus lane that the cyclist was in was active, but the cyclist is allowed to ride in it. So yes, we do get situations like the last one where you do get some people which are, in my opinion, pretty stupid trying to come up on the left-hand side of a vehicle which is clearly indicating. But then you do get situations like this where the cyclist had no blame at all. So let's look after one another, let's check those mirrors, and let's be safe. And as promised, the bonus clip. This was my student's first time driving on main roads when this happened.
Kidding. That's what you mean by turn left. What the was that?
Jesus Christ. Trying to get away from that.
Are you kidding me?
Keep going.
Sorry, but
No, that's alright.
I was not expecting that out of the lesson.
Likewise. So gas in. Gas, 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 gas.
The client drove really well for the remainder of that lesson, and credit to him, because that situation would have shaken up even the most experienced of drivers. But that's a little snippet of the crazy stuff that we see on the roads fairly often, although thankfully we don't see that particularly that often. So I hope this video has helped, and if you need, put a comment in the comment section below and I'll help as much as possible. Otherwise, please subscribe, like and share like crazy. Stay safe.